Okay, we're back with Mark Sebastian. He's founder of Option Pit and chief investment officer of Carmen Lion Capital to talk about some of his top stock ideas. He's got a top pick and he's got a short as well that we will talk about. I said they were outside of the tech sector. That's not exactly true, Mark. Your first pick, and it's your top pick for 2025, I understand, is a social media giant, Reddit. Why is Reddit your number one pick for this year?
So we think of them as a social media giant, but in valuation, they're really not. Reddit is worth about $29 billion. Think about the user base they have there, and they're just starting to monetize it. Now, here's what is so great if you're in Reddit's position. Meta basically laid out the entire map on how to take this massive, now I mean immense user base and data cache they have within that Reddit community and turn it into profits. And we saw them start to do that in the last quarter. That's why you saw that absolutely explosive move after the last earnings, because a lot of people went, oh, wow, they figured it out. And if Reddit figured it out, which it really appears they have, with the amount of users that are on that platform, the amount of money they are going to be making in 3 to 5 years is going to be absolutely, they're going to be right into the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube type of conversation. I think this is going to be a $100 billion company by the end of the year, maybe higher. I would not be shocked, and actually I'd be surprised if they're not talking about a stock split at least once in 2025. Okay,
and you would buy it where it is, which is about $275 US per share. Let's go to another one. This is a stock, speaking of technology, that once upon a time was perhaps the most, or one of the most, along with Microsoft, perhaps the most prominent tech stocks in the US marketplace. It's now a fallen angel, as you call it. And I think a lot of people would agree with the fallen part of it anyway. That's Intel. But you like Intel.
I mean, I think the fact that there's firms out there that want to invest in them tells you that there's still value there. If we broke up Intel, it's worth more than Intel itself. Some of their investment in the Israeli venture is worth more than Intel. So they, there's some value to unlock there. Now the question is the long-term drag just so bad? Is this just completely dead money for several years? Do they end up getting taken under? At this point, I think it's worth the risk. I thought it was interesting up at 30, down here at 20. And I think it's worth taking a shot to see if they can turn around, especially if they get kind of with new CEO, get everything moving right. I think the foundry business there is really key. The U.S. government is giving them a lot of money to build foundries in the United States. That's a potential real advantage if they can get that off the ground and stop tripping over themselves.
Okay, shorts are always interesting, and you've got one. You don't like Target. You don't like the setup for this stock at all, TGT.
I like going to the stores. I got to tell you, the Walmart Target thing. I think the Walmart Target thing is over. Walmart has won. And it's not been through the stores, although Walmart has actually upped their game on the fashion side and improved some of the interior of the stores to make it more palpable for the kind of the next economic step up to feel okay shopping there. Target's kind of maybe taking a little step back. The big miss Target made was not investing in online 3 years ago. So what we're seeing in Target now is decisions that were made 2-3 years ago to not really go all in on the online approach that Walmart has done with Walmart Plus. You look at Walmart Plus versus Amazon, and it's an extremely similar experience. Target doesn't have that, and they don't have the user base. They haven't added the incentives that make it, to draw you in to want to use. I don't even know what Target's subscription plan is called. I think it's called Circle or something like that. That's how poorly they've executed on the online side of the business, and I think that ultimately there's their demise. You saw what happened to a lot of the large legacy mall retailers. There's room for one or two of those, just like in the large box stores. There's room for one or two of those, and I think it's going to be Costco and Walmart, and Target's going to find themselves smaller and smaller and losing share because they lack the ability to execute online.
Mark Sebastian, thank you a great deal as always, and Happy New Year to you as well.